What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another riveting episode of the Trademark. I'm not sure if the listeners know this or not, but I use a different adjective each time. Sometimes it's exciting, sometimes it's exhilarating. This week, it's riveting.
You've used riveting a lot. I've watched a lot
Uh,
of the episodes lately, and
Welcome back to another capitalist-friendly episode of the Trademark.
we don't want to get banned on YouTube. Come on.
I know, right?
About to get shadow banned.
First time that we went live.
Right. They're and you're out.
We are so excited. We've got Tawnya Strittmatter with us, and it's going to be a really good episode. A lot of fun. We're going to talk about Red Robin. We're going to talk about how much water we drink on a daily basis. All good things. But question of the day, speaking of Red Robin, do you have a favorite middle-class fancy restaurant?
I don't get out much, really. So if I was going to choose, I would say Jersey Mike's.
Oh,
I'm like a sub girl.
Jersey Mike's is solid. That's a good answer.
But again, I mean, like no life. So
the things I was about to say, and I was like, nope, you can't say that on the air. Like, I can down a sub is what I would.
Well, at least you said just a sub and not a.
I know. I was thinking. I was like,
long.
that was me. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, no, that's a great question. All right, Eric, do you want to roll our credits?
I'm about to, but I need to know what your favorite restaurant is, Sarah. This is important. We can't move on until we all know.
So sidetracked.
No, I have a couple. So, if I want like a kind of like a what I call a trashy pizza night, I order Domino's. Nice. Mm-hmm. And then if I love Olive Garden because I used to work there.
Now we're talking.
Mm-hmm. And so those are my two go-tos, and they are, they're to my heart.
I love Olive Garden. I love Red Robin. And I love talking about the trades. So let's go ahead and dive in.
Step into The Trademark, your go-to podcast for everything marketing in the trades. Hosted by award-winning industry marketing experts Sarah Gerardo from Remarkatable and Eric Thomas from Rival Digital. Together, we're here to unite the worlds of trades and marketing, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from the heart of the industry. Whether you're a trade professional, a marketing expert, or somewhere in between, this is the place for you. Listen in as we're here for the big ideas, the game changers, and the everyday successes. Because at The Trademark, we're with the trades and for the trades.
All right. Welcome, everyone. We're super excited to get started again today. And we have Tawnya here, and Tawnya has the most a unique background where most owners of previous companies in the industry kind of lead towards, but she actually took action and is evolving her career with continuing to help people. And I'd just love to hear more about you, Tawnya. So you want to share some of your story with us so that we can get started?
Sure. If we just start background, getting into the trades, my husband, Joe, is a second generation HVAC and plumbing owner. In 2010, I came on board with him, was really supposed to be a part-time gig. Like I was going to help him do a little marketing, help him with the website. It wasn't meant to be forever. It was meant to be just for a minute. And, it worked. We worked well together. We grew our company. We were able to sell to private equity in 2021. We stayed on board with the company after selling. And then at the end of 2023, we stepped away. It was time. It was, we felt like there was nothing left for us to be able to do. It was in the private equity hands at that point. And if anyone knows corporate world, then that'll make more sense. But we stepped away and decided to retire. And with announcing of retirement, then had the opportunity to be nominated and considered for the board of directors for the Joe Grow Foundation. I've been a long supporter of the foundation through Service Nation. That's where we had learned about the foundation and the charity itself, and so we've known about it for a long time. And being able to still stay, kind of in the know with people, then that's what I want. People are my passion. And that was the biggest and best part of my job, was the people. We all have the daily grinds and the ins and outs and the things that have to be done. But, my best part of anything, and I will get choked up because when I think about it, it does touch me. But, that was the best part of my job, was the people and getting to know them, getting to know their story, getting to know their family. And this is a way that I can still be able to assist in helping people, just in a different way. And it still is a part about our trades community and our trades family. And that's something that is really important, because I've seen so many people be able to make a lifelong career in the trade, something that maybe they started just as a whim, or just tried out for a little bit, and they end up having a great career. And now 10, 15, 20 years later, they're doing great things for their family because of the hard work that they've done in the trade. So it just was a very natural transition to be able to be involved with the foundation, so that I could be a part of continuing to help people.
I love that. And I love how you're like, oh, it's just natural. Like, I just jumped from one thing that's like giant to another giant, huge honoring role. So congratulations on that nomination and getting accepted to be on the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am incredibly proud of you. But going backwards, you talked about being a business owner and not really like coming at it working with your husband, right? A lot of people can relate to that. And that means something to them, that you got to grow something and then exit out of it. But what was that like to grow it together? And, what are some of the hardships or some of the wins that you explored to getting to the private equity side?
Well, anyone that knows my husband, Joe, Joe is a visionary. Joe is always at least 5 years ahead of everybody else, at least in his thinking of where he wants the business to be, how he wants to get there. My job was the person that needed to figure out how to make it all happen. So Joe would come up with these grand ideas of where he wanted to take the business or how he wanted to do something within the business, and would come to me and say, all right, here's what I want to do. How do we do it? And I would maybe look at him and say, are you crazy? Or, I would figure out what to do. So it maybe didn't always work the exact way, or where he wanted it to be, but I could get us to a medium point to where he would be happy with that. But ultimately, as crazy as it sounds, opposites attract. Joe and I are complete opposites. So all of the strengths that I have, not to say are his weaknesses, but his strengths are my weaknesses, per se. So we worked well in just our daily work life together, because we played well off of each other. So, he was those 5 years ahead of the business, and I was today in the business, or really I was yesterday in the business. I was the one, closing out the day before, or figuring, the numbers and the accounting and the bookkeeping and the payroll and those types of things. So I was handling all the day-to-day things within the business, and Joe was overseeing all the operations, general manager, figuring out what the next steps were, what the marketing plan needed to be, what the next technology we needed to implement, or whatever, constantly researching, constantly learning, and then being able to figure out how we could make things like that work within our business. Being a part of Service Nation or other organizations, we have the opportunity to be able to know so many different people, and so many of our businesses. I mean, it's AC and plumbing; it's the same no matter where you are. But you learn from people, and when you connect with people, then you start hearing different ideas, things that worked for them, and then it's like you're not going to know if it works for you until you try it. So we did a lot of trying it, and a lot of things worked out great. A lot of things worked out horrible, but we kind of did everything wrong as we figured it out. But we were really big on, well, we won't know unless we try. So we tried a lot of things, and then you find things that work and things that stick. And we had a great management team that surrounded us, that of course, it's not like we just, I mean, in the beginning it was just us doing it, with a small field team. But as we grew, then we grew our management. So we had a great support system of different people around us to be able to play different ideas off of and work with each other to figure out, how we could get some of the, just the day-to-day things done, and how to continue to grow the business. So it was a lot of fun working together. But like I said, I mean, we're polar opposites. So I think that really is one of the reasons why it maybe worked so well, because we were in different lanes. He was over here, I was over here, and he knew not to get into my lane, and I knew the same. So I think that's why we worked so well.
Yeah. And then what made you have that big decision of selling your business?
Well, Joe being second generation, we have a son, and he didn't necessarily grow up in the trades, but he worked with us too. I mean, he would work in the warehouse and, be a parts runner and things like that. And we were talking to him on is this something that you want to do one day? And he was like, heck no, not interested. Not even a little bit interested. And so it was like, okay, well, if we decided along the way that, our legacy isn't our name. It's how we've been able to interact and run our business and treat our technicians, and the culture that we had. We knew that we could leave a legacy without still being Strittmatter.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it still is kind of hard sometimes, but we decided, it was like, well, let's just see what happens. Let's just kind of put it out there and see what happens. It wasn't like we didn't want to sell. It was more like, well, let's just feel it out a little bit. And so that's kind of what we did. We worked with SF&P with Brian Cohen, and they helped get us in line, get us in shape, and make things look nice and pretty and polished and packaged. And they kind of put us on the market, and then we had interest. And then it was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. This is what we're going to do. And so then whenever we sold to private equity, then, the biggest thing for me was I didn't want to walk out the door and not know what was going to happen to my people, because again, it's all about the people. So Joe probably would have been fine to walk away, after those papers were signed, but I couldn't do that. And so we stayed on board, and at that point we merged with another location that they already owned within the Metroplex, and now we kind of had double the management, double the everything. Whatever we had at one branch, we had the same at the other branch. So we kind of chose like, okay, well, this person makes more sense, or this makes more sense, or whatever. So my role kind of went to I kind of stepped back a little bit more. And that's when I always was a cheerleader for my people and for the team, but that's when I became the cheerleader more so. I became the cheerleader for the different departments, because it was new. We were learning new processes and going through different things, new software. And there was a lot of changes. A lot of things happened all at one time, but I kind of became the cheerleader for the departments, and for the managers, and for the technicians, and for whoever. It was just kind of like, I was like the support system. And that was great. Great for me because it was still continuing to be able to help people. And then I got to watch people just evolve into their roles and, being able to kind of help support them and guide them and see them, making great strides within a department or within a position. It was really cool to be able to see that. But then that's when we decided, not that we were holding people back, but there was a part of us that kind of felt like we were holding the team back because they did rely on us for certain things or look to us instead of making the decision on their own. They wanted to, wanted to see what we would say or what we would do. And they knew the answer themselves. They just would self-doubt or, whatever the case was. So we kind of were like, maybe we're doing them a little bit of a disservice, let them sail the ship now and, be able to continue to grow. And, the vision is very clear and they were like, all right, it sucked, walking away, but they were like, okay, we can take the reins and, we can do this. And, like I said, it was still hard at the end of the day to be able to walk away from something that we've, literal blood, sweat, and tears, probably more tears on my end, but and anyone that knows me would know. I mean, I just cried a second ago talking about my people.
It's fine.
just
You can cry. I cry all the time too.
It's what I do. But it was hard walking away. But that was at the end of the year. So we've had this 6-7 months now, like on the other side of. We all know that daily grind of running a business and how involved it is, and being on the other side of that now, it took us, probably up until a couple months ago to really finally learn how to relax and learn how to not have 1,000 things that you're responsible for that you're trying to do all at one time. So it's really crazy once you are able to kind of slow down, where then you're like, wow, like we worked hard. Like we're kind of working our ass off.
Yeah.
So
how's that feel?
It's like every emotion all in one, really, because it's like, it's unreal. Like it's not, I say I'm retired. I don't want to say how old I am, but I'll be 45 this month. So, so I say,
I'm the first one to say it.
Awesome. Thank you. But, when people are like, say I'm retired, I'm 45, and people are like, oh, you're too young and, all those things. And I'm like, thank you. I'm glad that someone thinks I'm still too young, but it's still like, we're trying to figure out now what's next, obviously we sold to private equity. So, we're under a non-compete and, different things. If Joe was on here right now, then he would tell you the exact month, year, minute that he's done with his non-compete, because he will do this again. And I tell him, oh, that sounds super cool for you. Like, I don't know if I want to do that again, but it's going to be the same difference where it's not like we're not going to do it together. So, I think right now we're going to just enjoy this time, of travel and different, just going and experiencing so much that we put off because we were building a business, and, experience that and travel and do, and then we'll see what happens in a couple years and few months and couple days or something.
Yeah. But who's counting? Right.
Right. Joe is in the background. He's right there. She's like, counting with his fingers. I see them up at this moment.
Yeah. He's
looking at his watch.
I feel like that's going to be super common. Like a lot of folks that have sold to private equity, like the second that clock strikes midnight on that day, they're going to come back well funded and run it back for another round.
Well, I'm wondering how many are just going to start private equity companies of their own, right?
That's a real thing. Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that, again, like we have these best practice groups and, these different organizations that we can learn from, but, we learned a lot from private equity, just you've got, Harvard degrees and, very smart people, way smarter than us, that it gives you a whole different insight of different things about business that maybe you wouldn't have ever thought of, because it's not the way your brain thinks, because you're not that smart. So it was a lot of eye-opening things that we learned from that could definitely be valuable information in the future. But I think that's a lot of what is going to happen. You have a lot of people that, they have their timeline is very similar on their non-competes or whatever the case is. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if you have a whole slew of them that come gangbusting in all at one time. And they're, like you said, Sarah, it's going to be kind of their own private equity situation. And it's definitely coming.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense to me. I'm reading, Ken Goodrich recommended a book. It's called The Private Equity Playbook by Adam Coffey. It is a great book and a very eye-opening as to, it comes from two different personas, a business owner wanting to sell and a employee maybe wanting to be in private equity. For me, like I want both of those things, right? Maybe, but it's still very, very eye-opening. And a great book to read. So
it's a great book. You beat me to it. I had the link queued up and I put it in the chat. I wasn't sure if y'all had read that yet, but yeah, that's a good book. I'll link that in the show notes because I've read that book as well. And I actually read it because we had a private equity client and I was like, all right, how do I work with these guys? So I Googled private equity books and I read that one. And it's something else. It really is. And just like their whole model of buying and flipping and buying. And so it's really cool. So definitely recommend that. I'll link that down in the show notes for anyone listening that is interested in learning more about the wild world of private equity.
Yeah, most definitely. And so now you're into continuing to serve people, and you joined the Joseph Grow Foundation. So tell us about the foundation. Tell us why it got started, how it got started, and if you've had any experience, kind of relatable to this foundation.
Sure. So Joseph Grow, he grew up in the trades. He was on the manufacturing side and supply side in the trades. And his whole family is been in the trades. His grandfather, I believe, had an AC company. His dad was within manufacturing and supply. His son, they're raising their fifth generation right now in the trades. Wow. So definitely, again, born in the trades, built for the trades, totally. But in 2008, on Father's Day, Joseph Grow went out for a bike ride, just, afternoon bike ride, enjoying, the scenery and whatnot. Had an accident, went over the handlebars, and he was paralyzed from his spinal cord at his C4 vertebrae. So pretty much from the shoulders down, he was paralyzed. And he didn't realize, he says, he didn't realize how bad it really was when it happened. But he said that he felt like his arms were straight up in the air. Like he fell over the handlebars, was flat on his back. And he said he felt like his arms were straight up in the air. But once he could realize what was going on, his arms were right by his side. And then he realized then he couldn't move. So in that moment, for Joe, he decided three things: that he was never gonna give up, never gonna look back, and he was gonna stay positive. And that's what he did. His trades community, after this accident, rallied around him to be able to help make his home more accessible. Ramps to be able to get inside, bathroom remodels to be able to make things easier within the home. And that's when he realized that this same type of situation, these freak accidents, happen all the time. And he said so many people, no one is prepared for that.
Yeah.
But we have a community around us within the trades that's what he started thinking was this could be something, again, by the trades for the trades, where something happens to one of our trade people community or in the community of our people, that then we rally together to be able to help them. And that's exactly what has happened. So the foundation has evolved, over the years, and they're helping people that have gone through these debilitating accidents or injuries or something of that nature that have left them paralyzed or something like that. So the whole thought behind it still is just being able to support your community of people and having it be within our industry, within the trades. So they're doing a lot of things for people on building ramps, like I had said, to be able to, safe and easy access into their home or into the bathroom. Retrofitting vehicles is a big one, because again, you've got to be able to get around. You have something horrible that happens to you, then you might be able to get your home fixed up to where it's safe and secure for you, but then you don't want to have to just stay there all the time. Being able to get their vehicles where they can travel. They have the beds that can help be able to keep them laying comfortably and things like that. And so many of those types of things aren't covered by insurance. So the Joseph Grow Foundation is, again, you find yourself in a situation horribly of something like this, then that's what the foundation is for the trades community to be able to rely on the foundation to be able to assist in getting some of these things lined out and getting them in order so that you're able to continue on, and so that they too can remain positive throughout the situation that they're in.
Yeah. And about how many people has the foundation served? Because that's just an amazing cause.
Right. So right now, as far as number of people, I don't have that number. Sorry. But it's been, they have now surpassed, I think it was last year, it was in 23, surpassed over $1 million in donations in over 34 states. So yeah, this is a, a nationwide foundation here for everybody, and in all trades. The Grow family has been more in the AC world, but they are constantly being available for other trades, plumbing, roofing, electrical, all of these contractors. We're still a part of this service community, and it's still just the same family. So so now construction, even remodeling crews and things like that, it's anyone within the home service industry, then this is available for you. If you find yourself or your family member, that's the other great thing. It's not necessarily, again, heaven forbid something happened to me, but let's say something happened to my son. Well, I'm a part of your trades community. My son's an extension of me. He would qualify within this, to be able to try and receive help from the foundation.
It's awesome.
That's
awesome. Yeah, I always enjoy anytime we go to like any of the Service Nation events, getting to hear, just different ways that the foundation has helped folks, from those that are there representing the Joseph Grow Foundation. And I always think it's fun whenever at the Charlotte event, the Service Nation event there, John was like
to drive.
Yeah, we got to drive the cars. I know Joe's listening in the background here, and I got dead last every single time.
Wait, what? I missed a Charlotte event? I always wanted to go to Charlotte.
Yeah, it was fun. They had like a NASCAR event at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and they had like this simulator for like racing cars, and I kept wrecking. It wasn't good for me. But
surprise, Eric. Surprise.
No alcohol was involved in that.
I wasn't even going to say that, but like, surprise. Just holding my water bottle for you.
For those listening, it was not a real car. It was a video game. So
It's a simulator.
He was drinking responsibly.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, well, that's awesome. So where will you be? Will you be at Service World Expo this year? And then they can come find you and talk to you about it. How can they, where will you be at Service World Expo?
So right now, if there's any golfers out there, then the Service Nation is hosting a golf tournament. It's going to be on Monday. What is that? The 14th? Before the event for Service World Expo starts. Yes, on the 14th in Orlando. If you're a golfer, there is plenty of spots left to be able to be a part of the golf tournament, and all of the proceeds from that go to Joseph Grow Foundation. So if you want to be able to register for that, then you can go to the Joseph Grow Foundation website. We've got the link there scrolling on the screen. Click under the golf tournaments, and it has the information there. If you're because wherever you're at, we've got a tournament also even before that in September in Chicago. So if you're a golfer or in the Chicago area, then in September you can be a part of the golf tournament for the foundation in Chicago. And then as far as where you can find me, we'll have a booth set up at Service World Expo where you can be able to come get more information or learn more about the foundation. Or, want to provide a nice donation, then, we'll always take that. But one of the easiest ways to be able to help contribute to the foundation is to become a luminary member. So this is like a monthly giving program. And the definition of a luminary is a person who inspires or influences others. And I feel like we kind of all want to be that person, to be able to inspire other people or influence other people in a positive way. So also on the website, you can become a luminary member and set up your designated amount on a monthly ongoing giving contribution for the foundation. And to business owners, this kind of like my challenge to business owners is anyone that wants to be able to teach their team or educate their team about this foundation, because again, we never know what could happen to us or our family. Mm-hmm. And knowing, having this in the back, kind of in your back pocket, if something ever happened, then I think it's very important. But to educate your team about the foundation and what it does, and if you need help with that, then I would gladly hop on a call or whatever it is with you or your team or anything like that to be able to help. But to encourage business owners, but then also for them to encourage their team to become a part of the Luminary program, to just know that you are making a difference. Those contributions are making such a difference in people's lives. And again, it could be something so minor of we had installing, doing some technology with smart thermostats and lights that can be controlled with with your phone. So something, again, where you don't have the mobility to be able just to hop up and do, it's small things like that end up being such impactful things to someone, where, again, if you think about it, if you were bound to a wheelchair, how much of a difference something that small could make for you to be able to make your just daily life easier. So, there are big requests that come in that are needed, where it is, full on bathroom remodels. But luckily, because we work all over the nation, then we've started to really get a good kind of list of other contractors in areas that we can work with, that now we start working with bathroom remodel companies that then donate some of their labor or things like that too. So it's amazing to kind of see something go from a request to then being able to grant that request and then getting the ball rolling of all the things that happen in order to get that request fulfilled. And then you start seeing how many people donate their time or materials or something like that, because again, we all will put ourselves in that position and then know that it could be any one of us at any time. So
Mhm.
it's pretty amazing too to be a part of something even bigger. It's, it goes beyond the foundation itself, where, it's like that pay it forward, you buy the coffee behind you or whatever the case is. It's kind of that same thing where, it's like, it's the least that we could do to be able to offer our skill or our trade or our time to be able to help someone that has, now been dealt with a tragic accident or illness or something like that is going to change their life forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think you made a great point about this is a challenge to business owners, a benefit to your culture, an add-on to how you operate is letting your team know about resources that the trades provide, right? Like we're trying to create scholarships, this is already in existence, so tell your team members, maybe like ask them if they would like to donate a part of their paycheck and teach them how to give charitable donations and write-offs.
Yeah, because it's
skill
all
yeah.
it's all 100% tax deductible. You'll get a statement after every donation that you do. If you become a Luminary member, then you'll get a yearly statement. If you do a one-time donation, then you'll get your tax form, to show the charitable contribution. So, I mean, that's great for business owners for sure. We all need write-offs. I mean, let's be real.
Right. But it was, I mean, like, let's be real, tax 101. But at the same time, like, it's really helping out people and it's teaching our team to serve as well. The other idea is that I was thinking, I was like, oh, you just created a list aggregator of reputable businesses that serve, that serve others. And so who wouldn't want to go to contractors that serve others and donate their time when that's part of their mission and value? So yeah, that's a valuable list for a contractor to be on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then another benefit for business owners that the foundation has as well, if they don't have this in place already, if a business is not offering short-term or long-term disability options to their team or life insurance to their team, then there's resources through the Joseph Grow Foundation where we've got people that you can work with, be able to get quotes on that or, things like that. So another resource to, again, you don't ever think about it until, something happens. And so being able to have different things available for your team, that seemingly, in the grand scheme of things, if something tragic was to happen, then it's pretty inexpensive for some of these short-term and long-term disabilities or the life insurance. But there's connections through the foundation. If you don't have something like that right now in place for your team and you're wanting to be able to look into that, then it's a great resource to at least, have a place to start and learn about it. What does it really mean? What is it? Again, as you're having this conversation with your team, again, none of us want to think about this part of it, but how to be able to have that conversation with your team and letting them know what is available to them or what you're willing to provide to them. Whenever we had our business, then we had a life insurance policy on every technician, and then we paid for a short-term disability. They had the option to be able to choose a long-term disability that they could pay for themselves, but it was just a no-brainer, really, to, if someone ends up being in a situation that it was minimal, but at least it was something that could help. And again, the cost is very inexpensive compared to, the alternative. So, it's something to consider for sure. And, it's another, little benefit that you can add on your list while you're recruiting, trying to get new people, that it's showing that you care about your people and that you're investing in your people and, doing what you can for them.
Yeah. Insurance is always hard with small businesses because the packages range widely, right?
Mhm.
And it's not until you go into, for me, coming from a corporate to a small business to a corporate, I've had different insurance packages and cost and things like that. And, working in the trades, I see that there are just opportunities in general of like larger contract negotiations with insurance
Mhm.
companies. And really understanding what benefits and services we can offer more of that are more affordable, as we grow larger. So,
Mhm.
so great point.
Well, and that's what they've been able to do is kind of band together, through one entity to be able to offer something so that we can get things at a little bit lower rate, or I don't want to say discounted, but it is more of a group thing. So the
I mean,
cost is better.
yeah, that's what private equity companies do. They come in and they're like, "Hey, let's make big deals together,"
Mhm.
and
Right.
that's how you get your costs lower and things like that. So,
Yeah.
most definitely. Is there anything else that you would like to mention, or would Joe like to come on and smile behind you, because I know he's just itching at the bit?
I bet $5 that he's got a hat on backwards.
Oh, I don't know. Let's see.
Joe, would you like to show your face?
I got a $100 donation to the Joseph Crow Foundation if this hat's on.
I like it. Oh,
He's turning it around backwards. He heard
He's
me.
turning
There
around.
he is.
Oh, Eric gives $100.
it was so hard for me not to tell him. Be like, he started walking over here and he didn't have it, and then he grabbed his hat off the counter, and I'm like, oh gosh. Eric said, I bet $100 he's gonna have his hat on backwards.
$100 going straight to the foundation. Congratulations.
And so, yeah, we got $100 going straight to the
There we
foundation.
go.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
But no,
Good stuff.
I mean, I'm honored to be able to be a part of the foundation to be able to help, and I'm hoping that I can continue to just educate people, let them know that it's out there, because we have a big community. The trades, it's not small. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just come in front of more people and be able to just teach them about the foundation and what's available, and what we're doing and what it's about and all of that. Because we're definitely helping to change lives, and it's pretty powerful. So I'm really excited to be a part of it.
We're really excited for you. And this is a call out to all of our podcasting friends, Thad, Evan, Tim, Josh, all of you, Tersh. Let's go ahead and get Tawnya on there, and let's spread the message and really get these donations going before the conference. And at the conference, if you're there at Service World Expo in Orlando, come to the golf tournament. I might be there at driving a cart because golf is not my thing. But donate and help our community and be supportive. Bring this into your culture. You can do great things with great people. So thank you so much for joining, and we appreciate you. That's all for today. We did it.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for listening.